Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Finance Committee Thursday, September 13th, 2024 to order. Our first order of business is our 7 p.m. Open forum. Does anyone have anything for open forum? No. I doubt we have anybody online. Okay. Next agenda item is overview of the October 21st, 2024 special town meeting. And again, I don't think we really have any articles to take positions on. Is that, well, right now?
Not at this point. We don't have any financial articles. The select board are closing the warrant on Tuesday night. We had 4 financial articles on there, and then on Monday we had a request for a capital item. The generator at the Stony Brook School stopped working, so that needs to flow through the capital planning committee first before it comes to the select board and finance committee for review. So we do have a capital meeting on October 4th, so we'll try to review that at that point. So that's the only one on the radar right now, so it's a pretty light lift for the finance committee.
Okay, so if that makes it through, then we'll take a position on that when it's ready, before it goes to special town meeting and before it goes to the select board, because they get our input first.
Yeah, so we could coordinate a date. It might make sense on one item just to meet jointly with them, but we can talk to the board and see what
that should
schedules.
Be a relatively quick thing to do. Okay, so it should be a fairly uneventful special town meeting, at least for us. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just for the special town meeting, there'll be instructions sent out to residents. If you want to be able to park there, you have to get there early. There should be transportation coming from different satellites, but we're working on the plan too. But just prepare that, for a meeting to start at 7, we'll probably have to try to get in there 6:15, no later than that, if you want to be physically there.
Yeah.
Start date's at 7 o'clock?
Yes.
At WA.
So it's
At WA, yes.
yeah. So 7 just for the newer members. It's 7 o'clock, October 21st. It's a Monday night at Westford Academy. I would get there by 6 or 6:15. We need to be in the gym, so you don't want to be stuck. But I assume they'll, like last time, there'll be sort of a VIP little fast pass. So when you get in, look for the board and committee check-in. You don't have to wait in the long line, and we'll be sitting towards the front of the stage, like right in front of the stage. Okay. Is that it for?
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the proposed FY26 budget policy direction, and again, just for the newer people, this is the budget policy that gets approved by the select board. So they'll be looking at this Tuesday night, right, Dan? I assume
Yes.
at their next meeting. They get input from us ahead of time, so this is our chance to put in input to how the budget for FY26, which is the one that starts July 1st, 2025, that it's sort of being put together now. This will guide that. So this is our chance to add anything, make any comments.
Same for the last, 10 years?
We did change it last year, just with the potential override, knowing we had a budget deficit. So this one's very similar to last year. And they do change a bit just based on, certain factors. Like in this one, we removed the ARPA section because everything needs to be committed by the end of the year. So we just used track changes, made some minor edits, and it's open for suggestions as well.
Dan, do we have an updated number, like a deficit number for FY26 or?
We don't at this point. We're still waiting on budget information to come in, so those are trickling in. We're starting reviews next week. So like some of the major accounts like health insurance, it's trending a bit better. So we should see some savings there, but then we're hearing other things about potential Medicare increases and whatnot. So we need to get a handle on all that before we're ready to give a revised number.
Okay. I think if anyone else has comments on this or. So, when I looked at it initially, because we're still in such a difficult spot for '26. I mean, right now, the deficit estimate is 3.6 million. That could change. I'm just sort of wondering from Kristen's standpoint, does this give her enough direction to put together a budget for December?
You really want to raise heck? Put in the priorities of the cuts. That'll get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Christina, I can weigh in
Oh,
on
okay,
this
go ahead.
on,
Go ahead, I couldn't see you.
video. I mean, I had a conversation with a select board member yesterday about a similar type of question. Does it give me direction? And I think it pretty much had the same direction as last year, that we need to run as lean as possible. And I have not been given any direction from select board to prepare two budgets at this point in time. So I'm erring on the extreme side of caution. We've leaned on that department heads as well when asking them to submit their budgets. I'm happy to take any other feedback from select board members, from FinCom members, but I know that, we're continuing to work on the efficiencies that's listed on here, making some short gains on that, and, just being as lean as possible, knowing that we have this deficit.
Chris,
Okay.
I don't envy your job.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I mean, I don't have any suggestions. It's going to be tough.
So this really just sets the direction. It doesn't really say anything about, what any cuts should be or what any-
It could.
Should be.
It could prioritize, like in past years, there have been other priorities added to this, like that will tell the town manager, try to find money for X, or try to fund, when we were trying to increase the police and fire. So it can, ultimately it is the select board's decision, but we can certainly give input.
Right.
Do we have any formal input or any just comments?
I mean, it basically says do the best you can, right?
Pretty much.
It does
So,
if you read it.
Very high level.
Yeah.
I think there were, for those who are new, we did, I thought last year's budget review was pretty thorough. I mean, it was a very, very good, it was very give and take, a lot of investigation, a lot of research. And I think there were some takeaways from that, all right? And you want me to go through a couple so that people remember what they are? So first of all, right, one of the big issues come up was the way the contracts are administered, all right? We found a couple of instances where what the practice was to basically just renew a contract without taking out the bid for 1 year off, on and off. And as a result, some of the contracts were hitting us with a 17% increase. So what we wanted to see done was, basically get these people into a term contract with a fixed rate, if the best they can. So that was one of the first things we were talking about. The second thing with it that I think came up was we had some issues with the capital budget. There were issues about the rotation of replacements. There were a lot of replacements on the last budget, and we were sort of suggested that we wanted to see a little bit more of a spaced out year to year than all at once. You don't want to replace the fleet all at once, right? And then one of the things that I raised, I still believe there's room for cuts in the public safety budget. Now, that's always a tough thing to do, but we put out the fact that we thought that they were top heavy in management, so they should be looked at, and that can reduce some savings. And then with the schools, there were two things with the schools that I remember were pretty much prominent. One of them was there was a real issue about the reserve funds. It came out during the discussion that
revolving
the revolving
accounts.
fund, right, that there was supposed to have been a mechanism established where some of these funds, there's like 4 or 5 of them, they reach ceilings, and some of this money can be returned back into the operating budget. And the provisions had not been done so that they weren't being turned back. And it was about, at some point in time, I think $3 million in reserves that could have been maybe dealt with better, which I think is one of the reasons why the town kind of had a little problem with the thing. And then, of course, the other issue that came out was we had, and I don't know if there's much we can do about it, but there was a question about whether or not, not so much the teachers, but the contracts were, the contracts were negotiated at a rate that we couldn't meet. That was the other thing. That was my recollection of what the discussions were.
I think those hit the
Some of
big
those
ones.
items were specific to certain members of the committee. I'm not sure these were all
Oh,
suggestions
they
from
just
the
came up.
entire committee.
Yeah, they just
These
came
were
up.
things that were suggested by some members of the committee, but it's not something that we all like voted on.
Right, we did not,
we never
yeah,
voted on it.
we did not vote on
Just to be clear.
on a total, sure. But I think the point is that some things did come out of the budget reviews last year, and, you know, I don't think we need to add it to the policy direction, but, you know, Kristen, if you either want to sit down with me or just go back over some of the things that we brought up last year, I guess we would make that recommendation. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think those will be issues again. If there's attempt for an override, they're gonna come back, you know? And if you haven't demonstrated any effort to address them, I think it'll be a problem, you know?
I believe the school committee is addressing the revolving funds.
They met last week, their finance subcommittee, and I think that was
There's
on the
one-
agenda.
There's one
So,
addressed, yeah.
Yeah.
And those efficiency meetings we've been having, we've been knocking off recommended efficiencies as we go too. So we have presented a lot of updates on those so far. So we continue to make progress on those as well. So we're keeping a tracking spreadsheet that we'll keep bringing back.
Yeah, maybe it's jumping ahead, but the issue's probably going to come down to, we need some kind of an override, potentially, again.
Let's not even go down that road at
Okay,
this
all right,
point.
all right.
That's not our call, so.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not, but, you know, presumably we would have some input in how big that should be. The question is, what would the town vote for in terms of an override?
Right.
They didn't vote for last year's, and it was, let's say, substantial. Would they vote for something less, and what would that be?
Right. Okay, so getting back to the budget policy direction, anything official we want to add or not edit? I think it's about as,
I don't think we're ready to set the priority yet, yeah.
no. Okay, well, that should handle, we don't vote on that or do anything.
No, it's okay.
Okay, just to give.
Just no comments from the FinCom.
yeah.
on Tuesday night.
Okay. Okay, so moving on, we have the draft timeline. So this lays out everything, all of our meetings, all of select board, all of those things. Anyone have any comments?
No, pretty straightforward.
Dan, I just had a couple. The November 10th meeting, I assume, unless I got, yeah, it still talks about a two-budget approach. I assume that's just a holdover from last year.
Yeah, it's a holdover.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be internal too, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
repurpose these, so don't worry
Yep.
about that one.
Okay. And then capital planning recommendations, I think that's supposed to be the 18th.
That is now the 18th, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions on this?
Will we be continuing to have the meetings with the joint committees regarding?
The efficiencies meetings? Yeah, so the next one is sometime mid-October, mid to late October.
Yeah,
It
it's
hasn't
no
been
date
settled
yet.
yet. Yeah, we will.
We'll have like one more of those meetings before the budget.
Before the,
hearings. Okay.
yep, before December. I did want to point out, so towards the bottom of that first sheet on the budget timeline, there are what's the column called questions due, and those are our finance committee questions for those particular areas of the budget. And this is the date. Dan, so I think that's a Thursday. I think those are Thursdays, those dates.
Yep.
When do you need the questions by drop dead so that you can get them to the department heads? Because what we do is the point person collects them from the FinCom members, sends them to Dan, and then Dan distributes them to whoever's gonna answer them.
Yep, so I prefer if people could CC me on those questions to liaison, just so I
Okay.
can see them too. And then by Friday morning, so departments have Friday and Monday to work on it, and then Tuesday it goes into the packet. So it really gives department heads 2 days to turn those around.
Okay.
But if you CC me, I can kind of shoot some out there so they can get a jump start too before it's fully.
If you have them by that Friday morning, so for the first one that's due on the 2nd, they need to be to you by the 3rd in the morning, or do you want to, that's a tough one to back up, but for
Yeah.
other ones, do we want to back it up a little bit?
I would recommend backing it up. I know last year, because of the amount of detail of the questions, which was totally fine and warranted, our department heads really struggled to finish with the questions because there were so many more details. So I would even recommend if we could back it up a day or two from what has previously been done, just to give everyone a little bit of time. And I know there were some questions even coming in, right before a meeting that we were not adequately able to answer. So just ask that everyone be respectful with that, knowing that, questions submitted at 3:00 that day of the meeting, we probably can't get to.
Yeah, and Kristen, if questions come in too late and department heads can't answer them on that day, I think that's totally fine. They can get them to us when they can, So I don't really want to back up that first one because it's January 2nd.
Right.
I don't think that does us a lot of good, but if we can shoot to get that to you definitely by the following morning, or if people can get them to the liaison a little bit sooner, that would be great, maybe before the 1st or something. But then for the other ones, I think it's fine if we backed it up, like the 15th and the 22nd, maybe the 14th and the 21st. Just to give an extra
day.
Does that sound reasonable to everyone? So that'll be the Wednesday before, and then get them to Dan by the Thursday.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
These are questions from the finance committee to these departments.
Yeah. Yep. So after you've looked over the budget and you have questions, you can look at past questions too to see what people have asked in the past. Sometimes I found that really helpful, actually. When I was going through, I would see that, somebody already asked that. And if you didn't understand something or.
And the past questions are.
They are on the website. We'll
Get to
We'll send that out.
We will send, I'll show you on a link or something. Yep. Go ahead, Nate.
Is the meeting at 7 for all of those?
So we haven't detailed the budget hearings, but yes, they're normally at 7:00 on Thursday nights. We also haven't talked about whether we want to do this in person or virtual, which, we can do at a later date. We decided to go in person last year because there was just so much going on, but we had been virtual definitely the year before, and maybe
I don't
maybe
remember the
2
budget
years
hearings
behind.
ever going virtual. I think it was up to you. It was optional if you wanted to stay, but we always ran it publicly.
Not 2 years ago, we didn't.
No.
I wasn't here, so I was.
2 years that it was virtual.
Yeah.
But they were still public meetings. They were
Right, they were still public meetings, but they were
During COVID, you're
strict.
talking about,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, and even after, because I was out of town 2 years ago, so. Okay. All right. So I think that takes care of that. We'll talk about this again if anyone has, again, newer members have questions, please let me know. So the next two agenda items, the Finance Committee book and the liaison, I'd kind of like to take the liaisons, so I'd like to take them out of order. I'd like to take the liaisons first, and then that'll kind of flow into the book assignments. Never mind. And as far as the committee, the liaison positions go, I'm going to break it down into two sections. First, the committees that have official voting positions, and then we'll take kind of the informal ones. So the official voting positions are on capital planning, the primary and the alternate. There's Health Insurance Trust, MBTA Committee, and the Robinson School Building Committee. So capital planning first. So I've been the alternate, I think, for the last 3 years. I'm certainly willing to move into the primary slot if people are okay with that. We'd need an alternate, so anyone like to,
I'm happy to volunteer for that if you want.
okay, is anyone,
Somebody else is,
Hari, were you raising your hand for something?
Yeah, I can go in as well if that's an option for capital
Okay.
committee.
You know what, I'll point out for capital, they meet at 8:30 in the morning on Fridays, so I don't know if that changes.
8:30, how long does the meeting run?
It can be 2 hours, they can go long.
either.
Every week or every month? Every week or every?
No, we'll meet like about 3 times before, the December budget is, or 4 times.
four times.
4 times before the December budget.
I can make that schedule.
Okay. Do you, John Fryer had also expressed interest?
Yeah, if he strongly believes that I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It just, I thought you would have more options to choose from. I'm okay with whatever the decision you take.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not up to me. I'm thinking this might be good for a new person because, we can work together, and then it's kind of nice with capital to have a history. So if I move on, you can slide in. If that's okay with you, Hari, I'll make the motion to accept John as an alternate. Okay.
Do you need a second return?
I think so. Let me amend that to, I'll make a motion that we recommend Christina Green for primary and, John Fryer for the alternate to, recommend to Kristen Lass for the capital planning committee.
So moved.
I'll second it.
A second, thank you, Dennis. Okay, all in favor, and I'll have to do a roll call. Dennis?
Aye.
Beth?
Aye.
John Leffers? John Fryer?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Hari?
Aye.
Shelby?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Okay, so we got that. We already voted Nate, the health insurance trust member, so we're all set there. Hari, you're the MBTA rep right now, and that's kind of winding down, so can you just leave your name there for now and?
Leave my name for that now. That's why I kind of expressed, because the MBTA kind of wrapped up
Yeah.
with the annual town meeting. There are no meetings scheduled on it, and I don't know if that's a continuous committee or that's an ad hoc committee that will wind down.
Yeah, I will just leave you, and then whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Okay. So the Robinson School Building Committee, so that's new. I can't even tell you, it could be anything from revamping Robinson, building a new school, it runs the gamut.
Do you
But
know when that
we
is
have a-
meeting?
I don't. Do you?
I can help a little bit with this. So the MSBA, so the Mass School Building Authority, requires that we have a school building committee for this particular project. It's in addition to the permanent town building committee, and it does require someone in town with financial expertise. And speaking with Dr. Chu, Dan, Select Board, and myself, we determined that a finance committee member would be the best person to sit on that. This committee will be appointed totally by the Select Board on Tuesday evening. So we will meet as a group at the first meeting and determine when is the best time for everyone in the group to meet. So it does not have a set day and time at this point. It will be based upon the majority of the people who will be able to make the meetings. But we will likely be meeting monthly.
Anyone want to volunteer for that? John?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else interested or not? Okay, I'll make the motion that we recommend John Leffers as the Finance Committee rep to the Robinson School Building Committee.
Second.
Second? Great, okay. All in favor, roll call. Dennis?
Aye.
Beth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
John Fryer?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Hari?
Aye.
Shelby?
Aye.
And Nate?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Okay. So, the rest of these are, like I said, more informal. And some of them kind of flow into the sections of the Finance Committee book. So we've had somebody assigned to kind of watch the school budget, the Permanent Town Building Committee, Community Preservation, and Clean Energy and Sustainability Committee. School Committee last year was Tom Laflamme, who is not here, and Dennis. Anyone interested in the school committee?
I'll go back if you want.
You want?
Can you just, does that involve going to all the school committee meetings? Or
You know
is
what,
it
it's,
less than that?
you don't have to go to all of them. It's just some point person to kind of keep up with their budget. So you can certainly watch the meetings later. You don't necessarily have to go to the meetings. And it's so big that we had 2 people last year. I think you and Tom kind of took the school. So if there's 2 people interested, can certainly have 2 people.
I'd be interested.
Okay.
But also, if someone else wanted to, be fine with that too.
Why don't we just, I mean, that's fine. These aren't official, so I'm not going to take a vote on these necessarily unless somebody objects. But how about Dennis and Nate? Just kind of both take a look at school stuff. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Permanent Town Building. Beth, you were doing that. Would you like to continue or?
Kind of monitoring the meetings over the summer because they're really getting into the library project now. So there's kind of like the permanent town building meetings, and then they have a joint meeting with the library trustees. So I've been I haven't been able to attend all of them, and they're not recorded on. So if you don't attend them, you have to kind of log into the Zoom and attend them because they're not recorded.
They actually, so that they are recorded. I just don't think we have them on the website right now. We're working with IT on how to get them up on the website. So if you ever want access to that meeting, we're happy to provide that if they are recorded.
That's good, because sometimes I have conflicts and I can't make the meeting, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I don't know what happened.
Would you like to stay in that position?
I can stay on, yeah.
Okay. Let's leave you there. Shelby, you were doing community preservation. Do you like to stay? Do you want to?
Yeah, I'd be interested in staying.
Okay.
And then that aligns, I was doing that for the book as well.
Right. And then clean energy. Hari, I have you in that position. Does that still work for you?
Yeah, I watch them online. We're not a voting member there, right?
No voting member. Just to kind of
That's fine.
keep an eye on. Okay, great. So that takes care of that. So on the book, let's see. So education, we'll fill in Dennis and Nate there for the book. And where's community preservation? Shelby. I will take capital. I think those are the ones that kind of directly map. I'll just kind of open it. If anyone wants to keep the section they did last time, if anyone has a burning desire to do something else, raise your hand.
I'll take the public safety again, because I think it's becoming very important.
Okay.
I can do what I did last year. I think
Okay.
that was
So it's Health and Human
Health and Human
Services?
Services, yeah.
Anybody? So like
Budget, yeah.
Heather did Public Works, and Culture and Recreation was Ingrid. Recreation was Ingrid. Those kind of go together. So if somebody wants to take the Rec Enterprise and Culture and Recreation, Har, you did Water Enterprise and Stormwater.
Those two are good lightweight. If you want me to add any others, I can take one more.
Okay, so Har, you want to do Stormwater, Water Enterprise?
Yeah.
Do you want to, what about, you could take
Yeah.
Ambulance Enterprise for me if
Debt
you want.
service? Debt service? Debt service or ambulance, I can take either one of them.
All right, sure, take debt service. Okay. So so John, Nate, anything sound?
I'll take, unless someone else wants it, the recreation, and do you say it goes hand in hand with, you say the cultural?
The culture and recreation and rec enterprise, we usually kind of group together.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones are open?
So, general government, public works, risk management, and ambulance enterprise.
Doesn't the ambulance go with public safety?
Oh yeah, it does actually. I forgot about that because I did that last time.
I'll cover
Okay,
that.
let's put you there then. So, general government, public works, risk management.
And risk management covers what exactly?
Insurance.
All the fun stuff. It's our retirement assessment, it's health insurance, OPEB contribution, or general insurance, Medicare, everything like that, so.
I would not recommend that
No.
for you guys.
Just coming to that conclusion, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to take either, what was it, public works or general government?
Yeah, so between the two of you, if you want to decide.
No.
You have a preference? All right, I'll do public works then.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd say that.
And then, John, would you, general government?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to give, Shinji said I could assign him something, so I'm going to give him risk management. Okay, I think we got everything.
We're good?
Yeah, okay. So, for approval of minutes from August 18th. Anyone have a chance to look at those? Those are pretty
Yeah, they're pretty
quick.
basic. So moved.
Okay, so yeah, can I get a motion to approve them?
Yep.
So moved. John, second. Okay, all in
I'm
favor?
going to abstain. My computer's been down. I haven't had a chance to read
Okay,
them, so.
all right. So Dennis is an abstention. Beth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Hari?
Abstain.
Shelby?
Aye.
And Nate?
Aye.
Okay, so those are approved. I'm not going to go through this, but our future meetings are listed on the agenda, and it's everything until March town meeting. There will be a couple of things added. That efficiency tri-board meeting, there's going to be another one scheduled sometime in October, so just kind of watch emails for that. And then that capital article that Dan was talking about, it'll probably be at a select board meeting. Again, it probably fairly short, sometime after October 4th. But just watch your emails on that
I have a
too.
question for Dan. So, Dan, when will these departments begin the actual process of going through their budgets? Have they already started that?
Already started, yep. So
Okay.
we're starting to meet, Kristen and I and other staff are meeting with the departments next week to review those, to give the first overview. And then it's up to Kristen, per the charter, to bring forward a budget in December, and then that's when the FinCom steps in and starts reviewing.
Okay, so we don't really start doing it until December?
Nope.
All right, okay.
Yeah, till we get the budget. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Great, all in favor?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
John? Aye. Nate? Shelby?
Aye.
Nate? Okay. Hari? Thank you, everyone.
Aye.
Okay.